Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to Super Bowl VII of the 1972 playoffs in Momentum Football. Indeed, it is Super Bowl Monday night, and I know that seems super weird, but work with me on this one. We are all set for Super Bowl VII here, as we are at LA Memorial Coliseum for this one, as the Dallas Cowboys are taking on the Oakland Raiders in the Super Bowl tonight. Let's go through the playoff picture and see how we got here. For the Cowboys, it was a very long road as they had run a gauntlet through three of the top four teams in the NFC. First up in the wild card round, the Dallas Cowboys had to go to Tiger Stadium and play the Detroit Lions, the 4 seed. The Cowboys managed to win that game by a final score of 34-20. From there, it was on to Lambeau Field and the second-seeded NFC Central Division champion Green Bay Packers at the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. Dallas won that one by a score of 27-17 and made it into the NFC Championship game, where waiting for them was an ever-familiar division rival in the Washington Redskins. The Redskins had swept the season series, but just like the Pittsburgh Steelers faced, the Redskins found that getting 3 wins in the same season was a difficult ask, and the Cowboys actually went into RFK Stadium and controlled that game, winning by a final score of 28-10 and winning the NFC Championship crown along with it. As for the Oakland Raiders, their road was, I would say, easier-ish, just because Oakland got to play at home twice. First up as the AFC West champions, the Raiders defeated the Kansas City Chiefs by a score of 35-17 after splitting the season series. Then Oakland had to go into Miami, and I forgot to note the score here. But when Oakland went into Miami to play the Dolphins at the Orange Bowl, this was so far our only overtime game of the replay, and the Raiders managed to win that one 16-10 on a catch by Raymond Chester, which so far has been the Raiders' play of this 1972 replay. Then in the AFC Championship game, the Raiders held on to beat the Cincinnati Bengals, who had also been branded as a team of destiny, by a final score of 17-10 to take the AFC Championship crown. And that's how we're here at Super Bowl VII. By virtue of the higher seed, the Raiders will be considered as the home team in this game. I'm going to open the window here because I'm a little bit warm. There we are. And you probably heard the home team's quote slam into place on that one, because remember, we are at LA Memorial Coliseum. This is, of course, a neutral site game. So neither team is necessarily the home team. But for anything that affects the scoring and needs its home team, the Raiders will be considered the home team for this one. And we've got the fans filing in here at LA Memorial Coliseum. There's probably not going to be much stadium cheers, stadium boos, all that fun stuff, just because this is basically a neutral site game. Just wanted to get that out of the way a little bit. But as we have the fans filing in, first order of business in this one, if the fans will please rise and remove their head coverings, we'll have the playing of the national anthem. Philip Anderson is first to join us here at LA Memorial Coliseum. Welcome in for the Super Bowl, Philip. It should be a doozy tonight. And if you're a regular on the channel, you know what our first order of business here is. Well, aside from dealing with a puffing window because it's a little bit windy up here, Raiders, Cowboys, decision. Odds the winning team will defer. Evens, the team that wins the coin toss will receive. The Raiders will win the coin toss, and they will defer. And with that, the teams are all set to go. The Raiders kicking team is out. Neither team can return a kickoff or a punt for a touchdown, so we will be able to skip that procedure for the whole game, which makes my life very easy on that front. And with that, there's the opening kickoff. The Cowboys will take that. We'll take that one at the 20. And we are officially underway here at Super Bowl VII. Craig Morton has led the Cowboys through a verifiable murderer's row of the NFC. Super Monday. Doug Hunt now joins us here at LA Memorial Coliseum. Yes, it is Super Bowl Monday. It is Super Monday. We've got the Super Bowl, and Craig Morton drops back to take the snap, and here's the opening drive of the Super Bowl. We will be ticking 8 time off the clock for the Cowboys. Down to 12 minutes to play. 9 coming off Dallas's offense. 33, the Cowboys are going to have to punt that one away. Cowboys cannot have a punt blocked, and the Raiders can't return a punt. And the Super Bowl here at LA Memorial Coliseum is officially underway. Raiders now get their first drive of the first quarter. And I'm already dropping dice. It wouldn't be part of this replay without me dropping dice. LaMonica drops back, takes the snap, and here's the first drive of the Super Bowl for the Raiders. Get in the tower, Blue. Taking another 6 time off the clock. Down to 10 minutes to play, already in the first. 4 coming off Dallas's defense. 52 is going to be a field goal attempt. Here will come George Blanda to try to get the first points on the board of the Super Bowl and give the Raiders an early 3-0 lead. Blanda is an 11 to 46. That is a 12. Kick is up. It is easily good. And Doug Hunt appears to be a Raiders fan. 2, 8, and 17 is a 25-yard kick. He'll be happy to know that the kick is up. It is good. And the Raiders have the first points of the Super Bowl and a 3-0 lead. And that will give the Raiders some momentum, as the Raiders did take the lead with that. This one might very well be a close one, although the way both teams played, ID Jester now joins us here at LA Memorial Coliseum. The way both teams played, this could very easily be a close game. I think the closer it stays, the more I like Oakland's chances, honestly. Dallas won all 3 of their games by at least a touchdown. Speaking of the Cowboys, they get their second drive of the first quarter. Morton drops back, takes the snap, and here's the drive. As the yellow die goes falling behind me. Bear with me a second. I heard it fall, but I didn't see where it landed, so let me move. I'm going to have to move some of this stuff out of my way. Okay, rather than going searching for that, I'm just going to grab another yellow die. Opening closet window. Closing closet door. Alright, I will look for that Yeah, I figured it landed behind the table. That's why I had to go rummaging for it. I'll rummage for that at halftime while you guys imagine a better halftime show. Anywho, dropping the pen, we will take another 6 time off the clock for the Cowboys. 6 coming off of Oakland's defense. 32. The Cowboys are going to have to punt that one away. Cowboys can't have a punt blocked. Score remains 3-0 in favor of the Raiders. Raiders with their second drive of the first quarter. Let's see what the Raiders can do with this one. Raiders up by 3. We'll take another 7 time off the clock. Down to 5:20 to play. 6 coming off Dallas's defense. And a 52 is giving me another field goal attempt. Here comes Blanda once again to try to extend the Raiders' lead. He made earlier from 25 in the first quarter. Let's see what the Raiders can do with this one. Blanda waits for the snap. Hold looks good. Blanda charges, and here's the kick. That's a 23. Kick is up. It is good. 6, 12, 22, 17, 39-yard kick. And the Raiders now have a 6-0 lead. Not momentum changing as the Raiders already had the lead. Cowboys now get their third drive of the first quarter. Let's see what the Cowboys can do with this one. Morton takes the snap, and here's the drive. We'll take another 8 time off the clock for the Cowboys. Down to 2:20 to play in the first. 11 coming off of Dallas's offense, but a 24 is going to be a quarterback sack. And Morton loses control of that drive. That'll be a 6-yard loss. And once again, not much with the stadium cheers, stadium groans. Score remains 6-0 in favor of the Raiders. And yes, this could be a slow and low-scoring game. But let's see what the Raiders can do with their third drive of the first quarter. Might very well be the last drive of the quarter. That'll be another 7 time coming off the clock, and that'll just barely not be the last drive. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 12 coming off of Oakland's offense. 41 is going to be a key pass, and the Raiders, LaMonica has a chance to keep this drive alive. We only need red and white for this one. Let's see what the Raiders can do with this key drive. LaMonica drops back. 3rd and 6 at their own 43. LaMonica looking downfield. He'll cock his arm, and here's the throw. 63, and that's going to be picked off. I was about to say stadium groans, but no, we're not doing that tonight. LaMonica throws it to the wrong color. Cowboys can return an interception on an 11-13, but the 13 has to be accompanied by a 23 and under on blue and yellow. No, that'll be Cliff Harris making that pick for the Cowboys. And that'll give Dallas a little bit of momentum as we're going to be getting ready to go into the second quarter of this game. And this time I drop the die at least in front of me where I can get at it. Cowboys with what's going to be their first drive of the second quarter. We'll take 9 time off the clock, and yes, that will definitely be the last drive of the first quarter. And after 1, Oakland holding a 6-0 lead. But we'll see how long that lasts with this. We'll see how long that lasts after I tally this all up. 10 coming off Dallas's offense, and a 53 is going to be a field goal attempt, as we'll see Tony Fritsch come out for the first time to try to cut into this Oakland lead. Fritsch is an 11-43. Does Fritsch get stage fright, or do the Cowboys manage to cut into this lead? Fritsch waits for the snap. The hold looks good. He charges, and here's the kick. Kick is up. It is no good. Fritch is going to miss that one wide left. 37 and 17 is a 54-yard kick. And that is very much no good. Probably could just as easily have been missed short. Oakland gets their first drive of the second quarter. Raiders with a golden opportunity to extend this lead. LaMonica drops back, takes the snap, and here's the drive. Taking another 5 time off the clock. Down to 10:40 to play. 2 coming off Dallas's defense. 24. That's going to be a quarterback sack. As LaMonica keeps that one for a little too long. For a 6-yard loss. The Raiders can have a punt blocked, but they need an 11 on red and white. Yeah, that was a long one to miss. That was a 54-yard kick. Let's see if Jerry DePoyster can get this one away for the Raiders. Yes, he will get that one away. Dallas looking for their first points of this Super Bowl. Morton takes the snap. He will drop back. And here's the drive. Pulling that through, we'll take another 7 time off the clock. Down to 8:20 to play. 9 coming off Dallas's offense. And a 61. That's going to be a touchdown run for the Cowboys. Score is tied pending the extra point. Let's see who scored the rushing touchdown for the Cowboys. 14 is going to be Calvin Hill. And he'll take that one in from 2 yards out. Fritch will add the extra point automatically as he's an 11 to 66. And the Cowboys now take a 7-6 lead on the Raiders. Tick-off time for the kickoff, and the Raiders will get their second drive of the second quarter. LaMonica takes the snap. It's only a 1-point game, Philip. No need to get too panicked just yet. LaMonica will take the snap, and here's the drive. We'll take another 6 time off the clock. Down to 6 minutes to play. 6 coming off Dallas's defense. 25 is going to be another quarterback sack. And the Dallas defense seems to be waking up ever so slowly. With another 5-yard loss. We'll see what happens with the punt. No block on the punt. Oakland picks everybody up. Dallas now with their third drive of the second quarter. Morton with a 1-point lead for the Cowboys. It is very much anybody's game at this point, though. Morton takes the snap, he drops back, and here's the drive. Pulling that through will take another 7 time off the clock. Down to 3:40 to play in the second quarter. 2 coming off Oakland's defense, but a 64. That's going to be a touchdown pass for the Cowboys. Score is now 13 to 6, pending the extra point. But first, who made the reception? 43. That'll be Ron Sellers making that from 7 yards out. Fritch will add the extra point automatically. And the score is now 14 to 6 in favor of the Cowboys. Raiders will tick off time for the kickoff, and the Raiders suddenly find themselves down by 8. Raiders need to get something going here. LaMonica takes the snap. He will drop back, and here's the drive. We'll tick another 11 time off the clock. Does that take us to halftime? Exactsies, but the Raiders will get their drive. 10 comes off the offense, and a 66. That'll be a touchdown pass all day long. Yes, Dallas can get scoring. That's kind of scary. Like I mentioned, Dallas won all three of their games, A, on the road, and B, by at least a touchdown. So the Cowboys may be in the spot they want to be in right now. But the score is now 14-12 Dallas, pending the extra point. But first we have to see who made the touchdown reception. 42 will be Raymond Chester, the hero of the divisional playoff game against Miami. And he'll take that from 8 yards out. Blanda will add the extra point. And heading into halftime, we have ourselves a 1-point game, and that is indeed what the Raiders needed, especially since the Raiders will have the ball to start the second half. And now at halftime, we'll have to imagine the halftime show while I go look for the die that fell behind the table. So bear with me while I take my usual small break. That is not exactly a high bar, Jester. Halftime show of me saying ow and wondering how badly that die disappeared is better than Beyonce is not, like I said, that's not a high bar to set. Listening to me mutter in frustration on just how away that die went, but at least I was able to find a new one out of my dice tray. But apparently that die went more away than I thought it did. Sorry about that. I lost signal on the camera for a second there. Now I got it all figured out, Jester. Looks like I lost signal on the camera. I don't know what happened as I was rustling around. Anyway, now that we've got that sorted out, even once the Super Bowl's over, we're still going to have one more show on the season, as tomorrow night we're going to have the 1972 recap and review show. Hopefully you guys are starting to hear me just fine now. Let me, okay, yeah. Just making sure I've got signal confirmation. So once again, plugging that even after the Super Bowl's over, tomorrow night we'll have the 1972 review and recap show, where we'll go through the entire season, pick out our game of the year, which this one could very well be a candidate for it as of halftime, and we'll talk about the future of football season replays on the channel. Anyway, we are all set for the third quarter. The Raiders got just what the doctor ordered coming out of halftime. Or going into halftime, I should say, with a touchdown. With that touchdown, what was that? A touchdown pass. And effectively a free play, because the Raiders received the opening kickoff to start the second half of this game. So, with that all in mind, the Raiders, once I knock the curtain back, the Raiders now get their first drive of the third quarter. Let's not start dropping dice like crazy here, Phoenix. LaMonica, with the Raiders down by 1. LaMonica takes the snap, and here's the opening drive of the third quarter. We will tick off 10 time off the clock right away. Down to 11:20 to play. An 11 coming off of Oakland's offense. 44 is going to be a field goal attempt. And George Blanda now with a chance to give the Raiders the lead. They haven't led since the first quarter. Blanda's an 11-46. Blanda waits for the snap. The holder has it. The hold looks good. Blanda charges the ball, and here's the kick. That's a 45. Ooh, that was close. Cowboys almost managed to get in on that one, and it looks like it's got the distance, and it's good, and the Raiders will take the lead. 16-14. 27-17 is a 44-yard kick. And Oakland takes a 16-14 lead. Dallas gets their first drive of the second half, suddenly down by 2. But this is very much anybody's game at this point. Morton coming out of the locker room for the first time. He will take the snap, and here's the drive. That will tick 6 time off the clock. Down to 9 minutes to play in the third quarter. 6 coming off of Oakland's defense. 41. The Cowboys are going to have to punt that one away. Raiders have their second drive of the quarter. LaMonica surveying the field, knowing that the lights don't get any brighter than this. LaMonica takes the snap. Here's the drive. We'll tick another 9 time off the clock. Down to 6 minutes to play. 12 coming off of Oakland's offense. 43 is going to be a field goal attempt, and Blanda is going to try to get the Raiders a little bit of breathing room. Blanda is made from 25 and from 39 and from 44. Blanda seems to have the golden toe today. Momentum is shifting to Oakland. Blanda once again is at 11-46. So here's the snap. Hold looks good. Blanda charges, and here's the kick. 42, kick is up. It is good. It's right down the middle. 8, 12, and 17 is a 29-yard kick. And Blanda here is 4 for 4. Score is now 19-14 in favor of the Raiders. But again, a 5-point lead can easily be erased by a touchdown. Once I remember to pick up the die, we'll tick off our time for the kickoff. Morton drops back, takes the snap. 5-point lead is hardly a safe one here in the Super Bowl, especially with a team like Dallas that can get very explosive. Morton takes the snap. He will drop back, and here's the drive. That will tick 6 time off the clock for the Cowboys. Down to 3:40 to play. 6 coming off Oakland's defense. 54 is going to be a field goal attempt. Here comes Fritsch to try to cut into the Oakland lead. Get it down to 2. Fritsch is an 11-43. Can the Cowboys cut into this lead? Here's the snap. Hold looks good. Fritsch charges, and here's the kick. That's a 13. Kick is up. It is good. 3, 10, 27-yard kick. Score is now 19-17 in favor of the Raiders. We're going to have high drama in this one, I'm sure. Yes, it's probably going to come down to the kickers at this rate. LaMonica, dropping LaMonica back on the field. He will take the snap. Blanda getting loose. Making sure to stay loose for another, what's likely to be another field goal. LaMonica will take the snap, and here's the drive. We'll take another 8 time off the clock. Down to 40 seconds to play in the third quarter. 5 coming off Dallas's defense. 36. The Raiders are going to have to punt that one away. An 11 on red and white, accompanied by anything on blue and yellow. The punt's going to be blocked. Can the Cowboys get a huge block here? No. Raiders will pick everybody up on the coverage. And this drive should take us into the fourth quarter for the Cowboys. Here comes the Cowboys' next drive. What'll probably be their first drive of the fourth quarter. Indeed it will be. We'll take 6 time off the clock. And after 3, teams are separated by less than a field goal. As it is Oakland, right, 19-17. This is anybody's game heading into the fourth quarter. I've ticked off the 6th time already. 4 is coming off Oakland's defense. 44 is going to be a key penalty, and Dallas is going to get called for an offensive holding penalty. Cowboys sideline groans. Ugh. And the Cowboys can't have a punt blocked. So they're fortunate in that regard. Oakland coming out for their first drive of the fourth quarter. Blanda still loosening up. Very likely an MVP candidate in this one. LaMonica takes the snap. Crunch quarter now for the Super Bowl championship. Yes, indeed. Lombardi Trophy is in the house, ready to be awarded to the winner of this one. LaMonica takes the snap. Here's the drive. We'll tick another 7 time off the clock. Four coming off Dallas's defense, but a 65. That's going to be a touchdown pass, and the Raiders are going to get some breathing room. Oakland bench, Oakland sideline, cheers. Yay! (25-17) Oakland, pending the extra point. Yep. Oh, whatever. 63 will be Pete. Pass. Charlie Smith will take that one in from 6 yards out. Blanda will add the extra point. And it is now a 26-17 score in favor of the Raiders. Cowboys know they've got their moment of truth here. Down by 9. Morton drops back, takes the snap, and here's the drive. Cowboys need a touchdown. That'll be 10 time coming off the clock for the Cowboys. 12 coming off Oakland's defense, but a 64. That'll be a touchdown pass, and the Cowboys will get that one back. Cowboys got called for a holding penalty on the key drive. It was a key penalty for them. Score is now 26-23, pending the extra point. In the game, Philip, it's actually just a key penalty. I'm adding in the holding call. I tend to add in what the penalty is, but that's purely for narrative detail in this game. Anyway, the key pass, the touchdown pass for the Cowboys. 64. That'll be caught by Mike Ditka from 7 yards out. Fritsch will add the extra point. And do not go anywhere, folks. It is now 26-24 Oakland. We very much have high drama in this one. We are down to 8. We are down to 7:40 to play in the Super Bowl. Raiders have the ball. LaMonica drops LaMonica into the huddle. He will take the snap. He'll drop back. This is a good one. And here's the drive. That'll take another 7 time off the clock. Down to 5:20 to play. 10 coming off Oakland's offense, but a 16. That is going to be an interception as LaMonica throws that to the wrong team. Let's see if the Cowboys can return that one. They're an 11-13 on an interception, 23 on blue and yellow. And yes, this is a good battle. No return for an interception, but Charlie Waters will step in front of that one for his second pick. But that will give the Cowboys, well, that'll shift momentum back to being even. Cowboys now down by 2. 5:20 to play in the Super Bowl. Morton looking over at the sideline, surveying the field. Morton takes the snap. He drops back, and here's the drive. 6 time coming off the clock. Down to 3:20 to play. 2 coming off Oakland's defense. 51. That is going to be a field goal attempt. And here comes Fritsch to try to give the Cowboys the lead. Fritsch looking at one of the biggest kicks of his career. He's an 11-43. Oakland's sideline is nervous. Actually, both sidelines are very nervous. Here's the snap. Hold looks good. Fritsch sizes up the ball. He charges. Here's the kick. That's a 51. Kick is up. It is no good. Fritsch misses that one wide right. And the Cowboys groan. Cowboys bench, Cowboys sideline barfs. Bleh. 5, 13, and 17 is a 30-yard kick. Kick is no good. Score remains 26-24 in favor of the Raiders. LaMonica coming back out. LaMonica takes the snap. He will drop back, and here's the drive. That'll be 8 time coming off the clock. We're down to 40 seconds to play. 9 coming off of Oakland's offense. 43. That's going to be a field goal attempt. And yes, that is always missed at the wrong time. And here's Blanda to try to give the Raiders a little bit of breathing room. Well, it's not going to be a lot of breathing room because even with the field goal made, it's going to be only a 5-point lead. Blanda is an 11-46. He will take the snap. He'll get the snap. Hold looks good. Blanda charges, and here's the kick. 21. Kick is up. It is easily good. Let's see. 2, 9, and 17 is a 26-yard kick. Score is now 29-24 in favor of the Raiders. We have 2 time left on the clock after we tick off the time for the kickoff. I think you guys know what time it is for the Cowboys right now. The Cowboys are going for the Hail Mary. They're going for it all here. 5 Cowboys with a 5 wide receiver set. Raiders looking for a prevent defense. This one is for all the marbles. Morton is going to have a little extra coverage here. Morton takes the snap. Blocking looks good. Everybody's covered. Every receiver for the Cowboys going toward the end zone. Morton's got enough time. Here's the heave downfield. This is it. Super Bowl comes down to this roll of the dice. Here is the throw. 34 on a key reception. That's going to Walt Garrison. 63. That is going to be incomplete. The Hail Mary falls short, and the Oakland Raiders will win the Super Bowl in this 1972 NFL season replay by a final score of 29-24. Raiders bench is celebrating, going absolutely berserk. Cowboys can't believe it. The Cowboys have nothing to be ashamed of this season, though. They only had to run the gauntlet of the top 3 teams in the NFC. But the Raiders will win this 1972 NFL season replay. Normally in a game like this, I wouldn't bother with picking an MVP, but I think it's pretty clear who the MVP of this one is going to be. 5 for 5 on field goals. Does anybody have a problem if I name George Blanda as the MVP of this Super Bowl? Yes, this was a good season for a first NFL season replay. And Philip Anderson has no objection if I name Blanda the MVP. So George Blanda will be the MVP of the Super Bowl for this season. And that will conclude, from a football standpoint, or from a game standpoint, this 1972 NFL season replay. Come back tomorrow night, though, as we're going to have the recap show where we go through the entire season and pick our game of the year as far as what was featured on the board. That will be tomorrow night. We still have a lot of great stuff coming up on the board, coming up on the channel. As mentioned, tomorrow night, the 1972 season recap. Wednesday night, we'll be playing game number 9 on my Tack Up Wargaming list with a new debut as we play Tally Ho from Historic Wings. Thursday, we'll have Pino with Phoenix for October 2024. That is my end-of-month recap show for those of you who are somewhat newer to the channel. Saturday, we'll be starting a new cookbook out of Mystical Munchies, but more on that during Pino with Phoenix. Sunday next week, we'll be playing This War of Mine and another new debut on the channel. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care, everyone. The Oakland Raiders win Super Bowl VII over the Dallas Cowboys by a final score of 29-24. And yes, I'm getting spoilerific, but we will have some season ticket baseball coming up in the very near future. Until then, take care.